Okay, here we go. So we are in Arequipa, in Peru, and I'm together with two new motorcycle friends. We got Patrick and Darcy. I think I got it right. Yes. We met here with Darcy. We met here yesterday, and with Patrick we just met today. So here is our first double interview. So this is the question. Tell us. So you are. Where are you from, first of all?
I'm from Canada.
I'm from Canada as well.
But are you from the same place in Canada?
No, I'm from Toronto.
And you are?
I'm now currently from Vancouver.
So we got here two opposite sides of the country. So let's expect. No, Toronto is on the other.
No, Toronto's in the center apparently. It's that Canadian joke, right? Yeah, they're the center of the whole fucking universe.
All right.
Excuse my swearing.
Okay, so
Don't worry.
so
Meant in a good way.
I would expect very, very different answer to the same question.
Are you going to answer in French?
No.
It's not going to be that different.
All right. So the point is of this interview is to know about your motorcycle habits, basically. And so you are both on a long time motorcycle riding, or it's a short motorcycle riding? Where are you riding from at the moment?
Go ahead first.
Oh, I'm riding from Vancouver to the questionable Ushuaia, Argentina. Did I say it wrong?
No,
I'd
that's
say Ushuaia.
yeah.
Ushuaia, Argentina, yeah. That's the theory.
So that's quite a long
It's a long trip, yeah.
And for you,
Yeah, so I started in Toronto, went up to Alaska, took a break for 4 months, and now I'm from Seattle to, hopefully, I think Ushuaia, and then, Ushuaia, yeah.
so basically from Canada to here in Peru, how long did it take you guys to get here?
For me, I left September 24th. Where are we at?
So October, November, December, January, February, it can be 5 months.
No, September. October, November, December, January. 4 months.
Okay.
And I left November 23rd, so
December,
It's
2 months.
faster.
so 2 months.
2 months.
Wow, you're really fast.
Quite a fast one.
No mechanical
Yeah,
issues.
2 months from Canada to here is quite fast.
Yeah, I mean, I took 4 weeks in Colombia where I stayed.
Okay. So
I stayed for a week in different places. Like I didn't ride for a week.
no,
in
but
two
wait,
different
sorry, but you left Canada in November? No.
Yeah, Seattle, November 24th, 23rd.
Okay.
It's only 3 hours
Yeah.
different. But the route you took must have been different. Like I went backcountry through Idaho,
But
to the mountains.
That,
And
that
then,
adds time for sure.
yeah, and then I had to zip back again to California to get tires because they couldn't buy tires anywhere.
and this is your first long time motorcycle ride, or you're veteran of this?
No, so I knew I wanted to do this trip, and I did a BDR. It was my first, or I rode my motorcycle back from Colorado to Michigan, so that was like a 4-day trip. Then I did another week trip off-road, because I had never ridden. All my experience is on street bikes.
Okay.
So I did a week off-road on a BDR just to learn, or to get familiar with riding off-road. I mean, that's for a week, and that's my only experience.
That's interesting. I did, in spring, I went to California for 3 weeks on a street bike. All I wanted to do was the twisties, right? Like I just got into all twisty roads, and then I needed to get back, and I had to do that killer I-5 home. Yeah, it goes right through Seattle.
Yeah.
Most boring road on the planet, and just blitzed it all the way back. But I have very limited experience, at least in this age of my life, on off-road. So I went and took an enduro course.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And then I left. And then it's, I got to learn to stand on the bike, the lessons that you got from it and I just got on a BDR and did the Idaho BDR. And I was like, oh man, you got to remember to stand.
Sorry, what is BDR?
Backcountry discovery routes.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of routes that this BDR has made, and you can get the whole route put on your GPS so you can follow it through the mountains. Because if you didn't do it, man, I don't know about Colorado or anything, but Idaho, you could totally get lost in the mountains and go, where the hell am I? for a couple days and not know where the hell you are because there's so many forestry roads that you can take and get lost on. So it's fantastic if you like off-roading.
What motorbike are you riding?
I'm riding a 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that bike, man. Do you like it?
I love it, yeah.
Awesome.
You can ride it, I mean, if you want, take it for the whole day.
No, I like my bike. But I wouldn't mind trying.
What is it?
Yeah.
Mine's a Honda CRF 300L Rally. So it definitely doesn't have the same power, but it's light. And that's the reason I picked it. I picked power to weight ratio. It's not super powerful, but it's light. And I'm a small guy, so if I dump the bike, which I really did a lot of when I got into sand and anywhere, I dumped the bike and it was like, son of a bitch, you know, like 30 degrees, 34 degrees, you're sweating bullets, and I got to lift the bike up with all the bags on it. Thank God it's light. I mean, sometimes I took the bags from the one side, put it on the other side, so it becomes a counterweight.
Oh, nice.
So that I could lift the bike up. Because, you know, you got loose traction and everything. I just couldn't find the leverage on the bike, and then I had a buggered up back one time and trying to lift the bike up. Like,
That is smart move.
yeah, you got to engineer this shit, right? Yeah.
And I know you are just kind of at the beginning or the middle of your current travel, but does this travel already inspire you, or you already had in the back of your mind future long distance travels somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, I plan things out like for years ahead of time. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to ride to Cape Town. I'd like to ride my bike from Europe back to Thailand. So yeah, I'm already planning other trips there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this is kind of fruit of the passion that you are developing in this travel, or you even just before this travel you have thought about it? Like, I'm gonna do Ushuaia and then I'm gonna do Cape Town and then I'm gonna do, or you had it already planned because you said you planned one, or is just during this travel you say, I like it so much that maybe I want to implement other travels. How did it work?
That's a good question. No, I think I already had it. Like, I actually don't even know if I like this so, to be honest with you, like this so much. Like, it's like I like it, it's interesting. But I think it's just interesting to go to like new places and eat different food than I eat every day, and like see new places and meet new people. So yeah, like it's just a trip. This trip didn't inspire me to like plan those trips. I think
you had it already in your mind that you want to do this type of trip.
Yeah, I think like they're like just really interesting.
And for you?
For me, this trip I did a lot of research to try to understand what do I need for a bike, what do I need for tools, what do I need for, because I've never done a long trip, so I watched a lot of YouTube videos, what are other guys doing, and I kind of cut some of that stuff out. I don't think I'll need that. Then I created some of my own problems. A year ago I was in Costa Rica and I had a rented bike, and I hope they're not watching, but I dumped the bike in the river, and I couldn't get it out of the river. Like, it's too heavy, and the bike died.
What kind of bike was it?
It's just like one of the local bikes, like a 175 or whatever.
But do you have already planned something else after this?
No. On that trip, this plan came out, but I thought, man, if only I had something to help me get this bike out of it. I had to put rocks under the tire to wedge it back and forth because it got wedged underneath stuff, and I couldn't get it out of the water. It's slippery, and ended up having to walk out, get rescued, come back. So then I brought another guy with me, and we got the bike out. And I thought, but if I go on this trip by myself, I can't always rely that someone else is going to be there. So I actually, in my bag, I've actually got like pulleys and rope. And I figured out like a 8-to-1 ratios, because I thought, okay, let's say the bike is 400 pounds. I weigh like all of like 140. I need at least a 5-to-1 ratio to be able to walk a bike out of some shit, like drag it out if I had to, if there's a tree or a rock or something, right? So I actually have that in my bag. I'll probably never use it. It's just space, but it's there just in case, right? So that's the kind of planning I did. And then just in general, like, oh, okay, like, there's roads that go all the way? Yeah, okay. And then I go. And my the longest part I ever had planned was BDR, because they had the trails. So I said, oh, okay, I'm going to be doing these as long as they're open. And of course, got to California and they weren't open. Some of those weren't open. But on this trip, I really plan all of 2 days. I'm no more than 2 days further out than where I am right now.
So you're not even thinking about future travel?
Oh, future travel? No, because what's the point? I won't know if I even get to Ushuaia. I won't even, what's the point? I'm just spending energy, for me, I'm just spending energy that I could worry about where's my next good meal going to come from. I'd just rather be in this moment.
All right.
And then in time, someone said, hey, what are you going to do after Ushuaia? I was like, I don't know. How are you getting your bike home? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. I got to worry about getting there first.
And well, I think it's interesting to see the two different approaches. And one details the age, the difference of age. How old are you, Patrick?
I'm 38.
And you, Darcy?
58.
So there is kind of 20 years difference, and I think this helps for the people that is watching to see how can be different.
You would think I'd be a better planner by now.
No,
like more years to practice.
No.
But actually, in other parts of my life,
I think
everything is very structured, very thought out.
I personally think that more you go forward with the age and experience, less you start planning. Because you can feel more confident on yourself, and you know that your needs can change and adapt, and you don't know. You know your need tomorrow will be different than today, but you don't know what they are. So what's the point of planning so far? When you're younger, you think things are more static, so you plan according to your need today, and then 10 years later you say, oh, but this is not what I want.
I also find that if I'm making a plan, then I've got myself this self-imposed stress that I have to achieve this because I'm a planning object. I want to get somewhere. I want to do it.
There you go.
It's also amazing. I mean, you're like 58 and doing this. Like one of the reasons I put so much pressure, but I was like, oh, I got to do this. I want to do this trip. Was I don't know how I'm going to feel. I was like, oh, I'm not getting younger. I'm like,
that's what I said too. I'm not getting any younger. I'm not going to get going on this.
Yeah, because if not, it's easy to be like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just do this next year. I'll do it later. Or
a couple more years.
And I met a guy who, outside in BC, actually Hyder, Alaska. Like there's like Hyder and there's another town. Stewart, BC.
Oh, okay.
And he was telling me, he was riding and he was telling me that, he's like, I'm too old. He was like in his 60s. He was like, oh, I'm too old for this. Like, I wish I had done it earlier. And I was like, man, like, that's validated why I feel like...
Better to do it when you can, man.
Do it when you can, yeah.
So, I have another question is, in this travel, well, in your experience of traveling, which is the best experience that you perceived in the motorcycle traveling experience? What is the best anecdote or experience, human experience that you have made that you would like to share?
That's easy. The people I meet. Honestly, like the people I meet. Okay, like meeting these guys is great. I met other people on the road that they're like, you make a connection. You meet some people you meet, but you don't connect. But for me, so far it's been the people. Seeing things, maybe I have a different experience from other travel in my life. For me, monuments and buildings, they're nice. They're just rocks stacked another way. That's how I see them after a while. After a while, if you've seen enough stuff, I kind of see it that way. But I understand other people haven't. They're like, oh man, those are really nice, and I want them to see this as well in my videos. I want them to see that. But for me personally, the people I'm meeting, that's number one. That's the number one thing. Number two is the food I'm eating. I didn't realize food was so important to me, but food's number two for sure. I don't know about you guys, but...
And for you, what's an experience you were like, I'm highlight?
I mean, I haven't met it, like, you're the first people I've met this whole trip in 2 months.
Oh, right?
Yeah. And
I slowed down.
I haven't really tried, like, I haven't stayed in any hostels this whole trip. I stayed in one hostel, I didn't like it. Because it forces, you have to, like, or there's like pressure to be social. And I thought so. And like, I was like, after riding all day, I'm really happy to like even like stay in my room and watch YouTube videos.
Just watch Friends on the side of the mountain.
Just not be social. I just like just do nothing.
I wish I would have downloaded more videos from Netflix.
No, so this has been really good. So yeah, no, the food. I mean, obviously, like the trying new food has been cool. Yeah, and just like I guess trying to be as immersed as possible and like staying in places where like I haven't actually seen any tourists or foreigners for. I saw no one in Peru, almost no one. It's been at least like 2 weeks since I saw another foreigner.
Right.
So like staying in places where, there aren't any foreigners and just like seeing, yes, everyone's a local and like just seeing what's up and like what's going on. I think that's like what's been the most interesting for me.
So another question is, what would you like to say, transmit to fellow travelers or aspiring travelers? So somebody that wants to go for a long time travel, and what would you suggest, or what information you want to transfer?
I mean, I would say, I think that if you look online, there's a tremendous push from, there's a tremendous marketing push from adventure motorcycle overland, the overlanding community. I think maybe I don't even know if community is the right word, but companies to kind of sell product. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you read a lot of things about online, and there's all this pressure for marketing pressure from companies that make you think that you need all of this stuff to do the trip. But I think, you need all these accessories for the bike, you need all this stuff. But in reality, I brought a little bit of stuff, but I use the exact same things, and my advice would be you don't really need all of that stuff. You just actually need a bike. You don't need this exact right bike, and you can just kind of figure it out on the way as you go along. So I would just say if you're interested or want to do it, just do it, and don't put it off, and don't wait until you have everything lined up and everything perfect.
Nice.
Yes, there is no such thing as perfect.
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, and that's great advice, because I was a guy who looked at 1,000 accessories. My girlfriend says, "Is that how you do that? Is buy stuff?" Because I bought all these things for the bike.
And from you, what would it be? Something you would.
This is a really good advice. Don't buy all that shit. Don't buy so much shit. Mine would be go.
Just
go. Just go. If you can get your money and your life and everything else balanced, time, money, health, go. Those things have to be balanced. So when they're balanced, go. And then just go. And don't get fixated that it has to be a certain way, because it isn't going to be that way. Whatever way you think it is, it ain't going to be that. And whatever you think a country should be, it isn't. So just get used to it. Just say, oh, okay. Okay, for me, the toughest experience was a bunch of crap I went through to get on a ferry inside Mexico. Okay, that's the way it is. And that was my first lesson, to learn to accept they got a system. Doesn't mean it's a good system or a bad system.
No,
they just got a system. As soon as you accept they got a system, do it their way, smooth as silk.
So the very, very last question of this interview is there any question that nobody has ever asked you, but that you would like to answer about motorcycle traveling or the adventure that you're living?
I lack so much knowledge. I think you'd be crazy to ask for my advice on what to do with your bike, other than change your mind. Change your mind about anything and everything. Just be fluid and say, oh, it's different. Okay, it's different. Just accept it, and then try to embrace it. That'd be it. But you wouldn't even be crazy enough to ask me how to maintain a bike, because what would be the point? I'm horrible at it. I just learned how to lube a chain this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about motorcycle maintenance, or I didn't even know how to take the tires off my bike until someone showed me a month ago, already a month into my trip. So
Mine was on a mountainside.
yeah, like
That's awesome.
I'm
Thank God he was there.
and I like rolled into mechanics like after being off road, being like, okay, like what do I do? And like so yeah, I would say I don't know if this is answering the question, but yeah, I'd say like I have actually no idea what I'm doing. And, like I just figure it out like every single day, and then usually I mean things end up just like working. Like things always aren't as bad as you might think, or at least I might think they will happen. Like things will always like work out. So even if you do break down or something happens, like what's the worst? Like I think the worst that could happen is like I'll sit on the side of the road for a couple hours, but eventually someone, like even today, I was just pulled over on the side of the road talking to other people who were riding, and then someone, a local person, pulled up behind and got out of the car and, oh, are you guys okay? Is everything okay? So I think everything.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the first time it's happened because it was the first time I'd been on the side of the road for like an hour. But eventually, I think everything will just like work out if like if you like stay positive.
Guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Darcy. That was very entertaining.
Marco, no, that is great. Thanks, buddy.
Right, thank you.
Glad we met you, man.
Thank you. And yeah, don't go and visit our community, the Nautilus, or how would you say with better pronunciation? Nautilus? Like Nautilus, but for the
That's up to you, you read it.
So, and there we try to share things between us motorcycle travel lovers.
Yeah.
Motorcycle friends, I call them. Bye.
Ciao.